Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to teach you guys how to do a simple but cool commercial. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you shot by shot how I capture all the scenes that made my commercial. I'm also going to talk about my lighting setup and what each light is doing to my particular scene. So let's jump into the tutorial and let's make that commercial. Okay, so in this shot, I'm going to actually try to make the can rotate, and the way I'm going to shoot it, I'm going to shoot it with my turntable, which you can see there on the screen underneath, so the can will be rotating. Then I'll mask the turntable out. To keep my background consistent, I will keep all the lights the way they are, take the turntable, and then film a clean slate, and I'll film that for probably 30 seconds just to have a background with the same lighting conditions that would allow me to mask out the turntable on the bottom, so make the shot more credible and that the can is rotating in position. And that's going to be it. I'm going to try it first without putting any water on it just to see if the shot works. Once I'm certain that the shot will work, then I'll add a bit of water in the can just to make it more appealing visually. Okay, one thing I just realized. If the can is not 100% in the center, you'll see a slight rotation like this, a slight motion like this side to side. So we want to avoid that as much as possible. It's very hard to put the can in the exact center, but I'm going to try that again and get a better center of the can, and then I'll move on. I think I managed to get it in the center. I'm just going to let it rotate 360 so I have the shot of the whole can, and then we're going to move on. Now filming the slate. So literally didn't change the focus on the camera. Exposure stayed the same. Frame stayed the same. All we did was remove our subject and film. So this is going to be the shot I'm going to overlay or use as a background when I mask my turntable. So combining both shots will give me the appearance of the can rotating without the can actually touching anything. So hopefully that should work. For my next shot, I'm going to actually go and do close-ups of the can. So I'm going to go and get detailed shots which will allow me to cut in and out and kind of break a little bit my editing when I'm in the timeline. This shot's going to be shot with a 100mm lens, which is a macro lens. We're going to try to make emphasis on the drops itself. Maybe I'll miss a little bit of the water while the can is rotated. That might work. Let's give it a try. So I've done a couple of shots. I've done close-ups. I've been using my water. It's a bit complicated to do it all on myself. If I had a helping hand, then someone could be perhaps spraying the bottle while it's rotating, so I'm sure that my camera is focused and I'm doing my tilt and pan. So I'm now combining the rotation with small movements on the camera. I don't have a slider with me, so I'm just going to be limited by the ability to move, for example, parallel to create parallax in the scene, or to move pushing in and out. So what I'm doing is I'm combining the rotation with a bit of tilt and pan, and that in extreme close-ups looks very cool. Again, you could do this with whatever equipment you have available. So the most important thing I would say is making sure your exposure is correct, your lighting is correct, your camera settings are correct, and then after that you just have to experiment, perhaps taking the shot to the computer, making sure it's in focus, making sure the motion is correct the way you want it to be, making sure your exposure is where it should be. So then when you're composing your whole overall video after a fact, you won't have miss any shots, or you won't have shots that don't really work. I would say it's a lot of trial and error, but the easiest way would be if you have a laptop with you or your PC, set it up next to where you'll be filming. Every time you capture a few shots that you think work, go and check them in the computer. Once you know in the computer they work, then you're good to go. Never rely on the back of the camera, even though the Ursa and the Video Assist 4K has a massive monitor and I can see very accurately where my exposure is. I would always take the shots to the computer to be 100% sure I have the shots I need to make my edit, because there's nothing worse than going to the edit and you think you nailed all your shots and then a few of them don't work, then you're short on footage. Before you take down all your setup, make sure to sign off on the shots. Make sure you have enough shots to make your comp work and to make a dynamic edit, you know. For my next shot, I'm gonna try to stick the can to the drill. If I'm able to stick the can to the drill, I might be able to put the camera sideways and spin it with the drill, and that might give me a set of different motion that I wouldn't be able to recreate with the turntable. Besides, I'll be able to do it in the air and position the can differently. So then I'll get a more dynamic edit when I'm editing the video. Cool can, no? Yeah, the way I'm gonna stick this is hot glue gun. I think that might work. Let's see if I can do it. Hot glue gun in the bottom of the can. I got this in the Euro shop. It's a £5 or €5 glue gun, hot glue gun. So hopefully it works. Don't see the need to spend any more money than I should spend on this, so it should work. Okay, I just figured out something out. They could have made this cable a bit longer. It doesn't really work. It's like I can't really push it. I'm literally stuck next to the freaking wall. So I'm just waiting for this to heat up. That's a cool angle actually. Yeah, it is warming up. Couldn't feel it in my fingers. Just realized that I threw away the little stand thing. Freaking hell, how am I gonna put this? Jeez, it's very hard to open up. There you go. So now it won't burn my table. It's coming out. It's coming out there. Let's see, how am I gonna do this though? So just the one stick didn't really work. So I'm gonna put a second one. And we're gonna do this again. Let's see. Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, put that there. Changing back to the 35mm lens. I'm going to do a wide shot now that I have my drill. It's been drying there on top of the can, so hopefully it will work. I haven't actually tried it before, so this one should be a cool shot if it works. If it doesn't work, then we're gonna have to rethink the idea of the rotating can in mid-air. Let's see. The drill is connected to the can. We're just gonna put the can sideways and rotate the can and capture that. Maybe we capture it in a wide and then we'll capture a close detail shot, and we're gonna do a few variations, the can falling down through the frame and stuff like that, that I can play with in the edit afterwards. Yeah, and then this shot, obviously I can't see the shot and get the frame, so I'm using some help here, so. So we did a few shots in where I put the can straight in the frame with my hand. We're gonna do a shot of me mucking up if I'm about to open the can in a wide shot, and then we're gonna actually open the can, because I have only one, we're gonna actually open the can in a close-up with a 105 macro lens. I think we got it. I'm just gonna copy footage into the computer and finish this beer. It's actually warm, but it's lovely and orangey and fresh. Tastes kind of like, yeah, like orange, like wheat beer or something like that. Very good beer.
Like Blue Moon.
Like Blue Moon, yeah, it actually does. So we're just gonna back up this footage, check it in the computer, and hopefully make 30-second or 20-second spec ad. Let's see, I have two tracks, 30 seconds or 20 seconds, and let's see which one works best. Let's talk a little bit about the light setup I have. 3 light setup, 2 square LED panels, and 1 tubular LED panel. And this is what each light is doing. So I have a key light, a field light, and a kicker with a color to it. In this case, it's a color that goes with the branding, which is blue. My backdrop are 2 square cardboards that I happened to find online that had the same kind of color that the can, which is the product which I'm working on. So this is what each light is doing. So my main light is an LED panel, and it's inside a softbox. So this light is actually very close to my subject, and I wanted it to be as soft as I could to bring the overall exposure on the can, so I could read the can and the whole scene looked great. My second light is the LED panel. It has some diffusion, but it also has the barn doors, so that allows me to control a bit the intensity and direction of the light, but I still want it to be a bit harder than the softbox light. And the third light I'm using is an RGB LED light. It's actually the Yongnuo 360 Mark II. It's a very cool light because it's RGB, and the fact that it's in a tubular shape allows me to put it in places that I wouldn't normally put in a square LED panel. And back again, this is how all 3 lights look. So as you can see, each light on its own does a small contribution to the overall lighting setup. I'm not using any flags. I'm kind of letting the light bounce a lot. I actually let my light in the house on because I could control a little bit what's happening here, but I'm not too concerned of using flags and all that stuff. Again, I wanted to make it simple so you could potentially recreate this within your house and not have the need to have multiple flags. So this is a very simple lighting setup that works. Okay, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial and some of you were able to get inspiration from this. And remember, doesn't matter how much equipment you have, try to do it in your kitchen table. Do whatever you can with the equipment you have and just experiment. You are only going to get better and better. If you have any questions, please drop a comment below. If you liked the video, give it a like, and if you're new here, subscribe to the channel. See ya next time.